praise Yahweh, Shem Shai, Shem Kakodah, Shalom to the 144,000, the rest of the elect out there, Shalom to you all. Genesis says that Leviticus 19:34, the strangers are other nations. So don't let this play. We're going to bring this back some. I'm going to show you that Leviticus 19:34, the stranger here are Israelites.
With that kitty you had.
Yeah. I'm no longer with nobody. I'm about to solo dolo.
All praises. You got any questions?
Yeah, brother. Because I know y'all changed positions about Gentiles being saved.
You heard what he just said. I know y'all changed positions about Gentiles.
Salvation for the Gentiles.
Mm-hmm.
My question is that is your position that the Gentiles can make it into the kingdom? They're just not on the same level as the Israelites.
Yeah, you can say that. The main thing we're saying is that the Gentiles who believe in the Messiah, they cleave to Israel, they keep the commandments, they're not going to be in slavery like the rest of their nation, but they won't be equal to Israelites either.
They'll be neutral. They won't be enslaved. They won't be shackled up. They won't be out there in the field. We just can't tell them what to do. They're going to be kind of semi-free. Half Israelite, let's say.
Come on. And that's what I've been trying to tell people. Everybody's talking about how you love Gentiles, how you love other nations, and all that. But I've been taking up, not taking up for you, but I've been speaking up, saying, "Nah, that's not what you meant." What I believe that y'all mean is that they can make it into the kingdom, which I do believe that the other nations can make it into the kingdom. I do believe that, but they will serve the Israelites according to Isaiah chapter 4.
Just serve is a good word, and the harsher word would be servitude, slavery, oppress. We're going to oppress them that oppressed us.
Am I correct?
Yeah, they will be serving, but they won't be serving in.
Enjoy 24-hour access at most Planet Fitness clubs. $1 down, $15 a month. Deal ends February 27th.
Imagine a health plan you'll actually want to renew, not just have to. That's ClaimDoc. We help employers take serious control of
The Israelites or the lights.
When I went on this video, I had to sit through two or three commercials.
To them, teaching them the law, statutes, and commandments, so on and so forth.
Right. So the scripture also says that the Edomites, after they serve, they will be all Edomites will be destroyed. Am I correct about that?
Well, not all Edomites. We have taken that literal, but it can't be literal due to.
He's talking about Obadiah 1 verse 18. It's literal. We're going to get rid of the Edomites as a nation of people.
The fact that the apostles and prophecy says that some will be called by his name. So a great majority of them will be destroyed. We showed examples how that word none will remain in Hebrew, that's also used to Israelites as well. But God didn't unalive every single last one of us, but a vast majority of them. A vast majority of every nation is going to get wiped out. We're not saying whole nations are going to convert. Even more than half of Israelites are going to be unalived, the 2/3. So a small remnant of every nation is only going to make it out of this.
Do you hear this madness? Why you think we say, I mean, it's abundantly clear that these guys took the bag.
Wrath and destruction.
So will Moab and
look at this. At William Stephen, I agree with Gentiles being saved from sin and serving God, them being saved from captivity with us on the day of the Lord, and sifted from among the nations based on what happened in Egypt. Don't see it. Right. But why would you argue with these guys? You should see that they're set up to deceive people.
Edom still be able to have the temple to worship or tabernacles? or they would still be in the courts. They just can't go inside the temple.
Yeah, so Esau has always been able to go to the temple after the third generation. We are looking into that though, because there could be something that we could add to the understanding of what the third generation means. But the only people, if we do say the congregation means the temple right there, the only two ethnic groups prohibited would be Moab and Ammon, if we take that position. So yes, the law is not going to change. So they wouldn't be able to do that if we take that position.
And I do believe that there was some other nations that went under the first baptism with us exiting Egypt.
Yeah, talk about that. Talk about that.
You know what I'm saying? If that was the first baptism. For one, what the scripture clearly says, that's our first baptism. And then for two, there was other nations that went underneath that baptism with us.
Yeah. If they got saved from Egypt with us, why can't they be saved from modern day Egypt with us?
It's just hard, bro. It's rough with this new transition.
Yeah, no, listen.
Hard, bro.
It's hard for me. It's hard for us. We're the ones getting death threats.
Oh, so people are you're getting death threats now. From who? Who's giving you death threats? General Yohana? Bishop Nathaniel? The IOG, Israel of God? Is vocab giving you death? Who's giving you death threats? Dudes are full of shit.
But look, it's just in the Bible. So you have a comment, like look at this comment right here. He says, so we have to love Gentiles, but a Gentile can't join Genesis. First and foremost, a nigga can't join Genesis. You gotta prove yourself to join Genesis. That's for one. And for two, if there is a non-Israelite who we believe to be proven and trustworthy and is really cleaving to our God, then we're going to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and they will be allowed to join to a certain degree. But we are the light, we are the priests, we are the teachers, we are the authority over the Bible. So I want to ask this brother a question. He says, so we have to love Gentiles. Does not Leviticus 19:34 say, love the Gentile that is sojourning among you? Would you keep that law? Of course you wouldn't. You're going to break that law. You're going to stay in sin.
You're going to say, oh, it's an Israelite. No, there's some Israelites. But come prove it right now. You see that you're here watching a video that says prove us wrong. Come do it.
Now that's a side.
You're here watching a video.
Listen again.
You're going to stay in sin.
You're going to say, oh, it's an Israelite. No, there's some Israelites.
No, brothers talking about Israelites. Well, let's see what the scriptures say. I guess they don't go into root words anymore. Leviticus 19 verse 34, but the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am Yahweh your power. So let's go to the word stranger. The word there is God. God means an Israelite. Now if it says Nakar, that would be an actual person of another nation. So Leviticus 19 verse 34, the word stranger means a fellow Israelite born outside of the land. And they know that. Let's listen to a little bit more.
But come prove it right now. You see that you're here watching a video that says prove us wrong. Come do it.
These guys don't even sound like the Israelites, when they were teaching the truth, saying that Edomites are going to slavery, this, that, and the third. Their whole spirit is different. He's not even wearing the fitted no more. He's wearing the button-up shirt, He ain't wearing the t-shirt. Whatever slogan that he has on it, the fitted. These guys came in a completely different spirit. Even this man noticed that. He said, since you guys changed your stance. The question is, what made them change their stance? It says, so why create a separate category called God, stranger to love? I don't know what they're getting at that. Because it refers to someone who is not your neighbor of the children of Israel. No, the word, it means an Israelite that's born outside of the land. Now you might say, well, they were in the wilderness. Well, these laws are for future reference. What you got to understand is they received the law in the wilderness, and then they apply the law in the land. You're going to have Israelites in the future that's going to leave the land, and they're going to have relatives come back to the land to visit, all for the Passover, or for certain high holy days. So that word stranger in Leviticus 19 and 34 is definitely talking about an Israelite born outside of the land. It's not talking about a Gentile nation.
Yeah, Ashar, but it's hard to transition. But when you understand that,
it's not hard if they give you a fat enough fucking bag of money. You know, it's not hard if they give you a $10 million check. It's not hard if they get your checking account and the next morning, that Monday morning, you got $10 million in your account. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. How hard? Not hard.
It's only the One West camps out of 8 billion people.
And there they go. This is the culprits of the whole thing. The demons, the One West camps, not GMS, not IUIC, not ICGJC, not ISUBK, not IUIC, but the One West camps. Those are the guys we got to focus on, because they're leading people astray, according to these guys.
Who
and everything they learned, these breakdowns, they learned it from GMS. They were formerly of GMS.
Were teaching this incorrectly, and even then, the elders were teaching Gentile salvation.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Abba never taught Gentile salvation. The seven never taught Gentile salvation. You said from 1950 to 1990. I was in the school in the mid 80s. They didn't teach that.
Foundation of One West camps was teaching Gentile salvation.
They were not. They were not teaching it. They were not teaching that.
So, if anything, we're just bringing it back.
I just can't.
He's bringing back the old ways, the way Abba really taught it. Yeah, Gentile. No, Abba didn't teach that.
Having the fact that John 3:16 and Isaiah 45 and 17, I just can't fathom the fact that the Gentiles that are not Israelites is included in that. When clearly,
and see, this brother right here don't know what's going on. Yeah, we don't got to get over there. Maybe we can teach them, bring them back to the faith. These guys sold out. They're doing what they're doing because they got a bag full of money.
And clearly, Matthew 15:24 says he only came from the lost sheep. I just can't fathom that.
Mm-hmm. So then your question would be, how do we now understand John 3:16? So John 3:16 is that world is Israel. We're not saying it's not. But anybody who is joined to Israel and serving the God of Israel, they become his people. That's why when you read Zechariah chapter 2, verse 10, it says, and in that day, many nations shall be my people. That's not Zechariah talking.
Those are Israelites.
That's not a narrator. That is the Most High speaking, saying they will be my people. That's what happens if they clean. That's why it says you love them like yourself as if they were native among you. That's Torah. That's God. So we didn't write it, and it is what it is. We just can't let our emotions get in the way of it.
And I do agree that the other nations will go on and serve. I do, not just serve us, but also serve the Most High.
Right.
I do strongly believe that. So I do know that they will be inside the kingdom. You know what I mean? But I was under the impression a long time ago that their salvation is not rigorous. What do you call it? Rigorous
bondage, servitude. Yeah. So, and what we have to do is we have to take a look at the Torah. We have to take a look at the first Exodus. We got to take a look at the prophecies. We take a look at the words of the Messiah, and we take a look at the apostles, and that's how we come to this conclusion. So in Matthew 15:24, when he said, "I'm not sent unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel," what did he say? Why did he even say that? He said that in response to her asking for a blessing. So watch this, brother. Matter of fact, let me go to the slides real quick.
The woman's daughter received the blessing because the mother and the daughter were Israelites. But they were like Cornelius coming back into the fold. You got to remember, you had the Gentile Israelites that didn't know they were Israelites. They were watching the Israelites as the Lord was teaching them. They were coming back into the fold. It's the same thing with what is that? Acts 13, the whole chapter, but you can start from the 40th verse. The fact that they had the Jews were envious of the Gentiles receiving it because those were Israelites. Just like Cornelius was a Gentile state of mind, Israelite, that became an Israelite.
Everything is on the slides. Hey, and brother who asked about Amalek, don't worry, I got you. So let's go to the words of Christ. Everything is on the slides.
Oh, caught him again. I haven't yet seen him call on Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. Maybe they do it in the beginning, but he mentioned Christ. A telltale sign that they sold out.
Okay, so here we go. All right, watch this. All right, so look, so this is Matthew 15:21. When we deal with the woman from Tyre and Zidon. Now watch this. You're going to be a good example. You're going to participate with me on this. When Christ heals that woman's daughter, what do we say he gave her?
A crumb.
A crumb.
A blessing, a healing, a blessing.
That's what we say, right? Now, so what is it then when Christ heals an Israelite?
The lowest.
How though?
A blessing.
How is him doing the same thing, a crumb and then a loaf?
Because according to Romans chapter 9 verse 3 and 4.
But listen to what I'm saying. If we're gonna say him performing a miracle on a Gentile is a crumb, but he performs the same miracle on an Israelite and it's not a crumb.
That woman was an Israelite. Anyway, you know, we just do these videos just to show you that these guys continually go off because they received something. They received a gift. Shalom. On to the next.